Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Now I'm really excited to film today's video because I don't think I've filmed one. This is going to be my getting prepared for camp, but more of like your admin bits you need to do. So like setting up a SIM card, like what bank card to take, doing like medical checks, health insurance, kind of like the admin side of things to prepare to go to camp, other than just like packing, making sure you've got all the right bits you want, making sure everything's sorted. Do you know what I mean? Like this is kind of like the admin side of things. And yeah, I don't think I've ever really done a video like this where I spoke about these kind of things. I've always gone very into like, make sure you've got this to pack, don't forget to take these things and different things like that. So I thought it'd be quite interesting. I did actually ask on my Instagram a couple of days ago what kind of new videos you wanted to see, and a lot of people were responding saying like, oh, like what SIM card do I take, like what bank card, different things, like so more of like how to get prepared on that side. So I have a few things on my phone I'm just going to talk through, explain kind of what I've done from my experience, what I recommend, what works. And obviously every camp will be slightly different in terms of like, so I'm talking about like I've got a section about getting paid, so that might be different, but I'll touch on that when I get into it like in more detail. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to get straight into it. Okay, first I'm going to talk about is bank cards. Now it's really important in my opinion to take a travel bank card with you. My first summer I went to camp with just my like Santander UK bank account, and anytime I needed cash it was an absolute nightmare, and you don't realise how much you will need cash at camp. Now a lot of the places you are kind of in the middle of nowhere, like for me, like some of the places we go for our time off, like they don't take cards. So say for example when we would go to White Lake on a day off, which is where like we would just go and hire boats for the day, you had to pay cash. You couldn't pay with cards. So like if it was $15 per person, we needed to have that in cash. And obviously when I was then having to take cash out from my UK bank account, I was getting charged so much in fees, like it was insane. So when I then went home, I think I ordered a Monzo to start with. Now Monzo is brilliant, you can apply for free, like they literally was like shipped to my house the next day, and Monzo is brilliant in terms of just using. I think it's a good idea personally to have a couple of travel cards, so I really recommend Monzo and I really recommend Revolut. I'll leave some links down below. I think you can do links from your app, so then if you sign up, I think we both get a referral bonus from it. So I'll leave some links down below if you kind of want to sign yourself up with one. Like I've always used Monzo and Revolut. Revolut I use more so over here, and Revolut was much better in terms of transferring my salary over, but I'll go on to that when I go to like the getting paid section. But yeah, bank cards, I would definitely just get yourself some travel bank cards. I've also used Starling Bank, which is good and it's nice to have. Any sort of travel bank card. Wise is a good account to have set up, but I think you have to pay for Wise. Revolut, I think you have to pay, is it $5? No, I can't actually remember. I think I paid like a monthly to have like, you can obviously, there's like levels, the more you pay the more you get out from your card and stuff, but I think you can get one for free, or it's a $5, I can't remember. But yeah, like I say, I'll leave the links down below if you want to have a little look at these cards and just see if any of them work for you, then you can sign up that way. But yeah, definitely look at least taking one travel card, if not two, because we were literally talking about this in my camp group chat this morning, that when we would go out for nights off and like go to the bar, you would normally like leave your card behind the bar and open a tab, like unless you were just literally paying for drinks like and not opening a tab. But most times people were opening tabs, and the amount of people that would leave their bank cards behind the bar and then the bar was closed and they couldn't get their cards back and they'd have to go back to the same bar the following week to get their card was actually like, it happened way more than you'd expect. So having a couple of cards and having your money spread across a few has always worked really well for me. Touch wood, thankfully I've never actually left my card at the bar, but I know people that have done. And if you've then just got that card, obviously you can still transfer via apps and stuff, but it's nice to just have it, like not have all your money in one place has always been like a tip. My mom taught me this from a very young age when I started traveling, like don't have all your money in one place. Okay, next I want to talk about how much cash you should take. Now this was something that again was asked in my like Tyler Hill group chat. People were just asking how much money should I take like cash wise, and I've always taken I think around $300-400 in cash. Again, like you don't know how easy it's going to be to get to an ATM when you first get there, and you are going to want cash. Let's say if you get sent like your first night off is out to Walmart or to go like for some drinks or for dinner and you don't have access to cash straight away, like it's nice to always have, like I definitely would say take some cash with you, even if it's just a couple $100, just so you've got that to get you started, and then you can take cash out as and when you need it after that. Okay, next I'm going to talk about health insurance. Now I've had so many people ask about health insurance, and this will kind of depend on the agency you're with. I think certain agencies do cover you for the entire duration of your trip, like from entering the US to leaving, and your travel period after camp is covered as well. Now with Bunac, my agency, you do have an insurance cover. I again don't really know how extensive it is or how much it covers, but I've always taken out my own additional health insurance, like travel insurance policy. I think actually it covers your health insurance whilst you're at camp. It doesn't cover your travel insurance. So say your travels after camp, or say your journey to camp, I don't think it covers that. I'll have to look into it properly just so I can confirm all of that, because I'm not actually too sure. Or just ask your agency representative, like send them an email and just say, what kind of cover do I have? Do you advise getting additional cover? The main part is your travel after camp. Normally your agency's insurance doesn't cover you for the travels you do after. It covers you just whilst you're at camp. I think some, like I say, some agencies do cover the entire time, but you'll have to just check in with them and ask. I get most of my insurance through supermarket providers like Tesco I've used, I think Sainsbury's I've used. This year I don't know how it'll work for me because I'm not traveling after camp, so I don't think I'm going to take out a full insurance policy. I think I'm just going to cover my journeys like to and from New York, if that makes sense. So like obviously my insurance whilst I'm at camp should cover me anyway. So yeah, I do need to look into that. But yeah, have a little look, ask your agencies just to check. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's better to take out that additional bit of insurance. I've heard some stories about people that have broken bones or like had to go to the hospital or things like that, and they didn't take out additional insurance and then they weren't covered, and it's expensive. So yeah, make sure you've checked beforehand, check if you do need additional or if you're covered from your agency. Okay, next I'm going to talk about is SIM cards. Now, I've always been quite lucky. The SIM card that I currently have is with 3, and when I signed up back in 2019, I signed up to a really good deal. It was like their best travel flexi kind of SIM card, and I just would use my SIM card as normal in the UK, and then whenever I went abroad anywhere, as long as it was in, I think they do like most countries, so there's a few countries I can't use it in, but most I can, and it just came out of my normal allowance. So I never had to change SIM cards or get like an American number or anything like that. I was able to just keep my normal SIM card and just use it that way, and that's worked really well for me. I will take just my normal UK SIM card and use it that way, but a lot of people would just go to Walmart or Target and grab a SIM card. You can just get SIM cards from like near the till points, and you can just top up online, and normally the SIM cards you do get in America are better than say like me using my UK SIM card in terms of like data coverage and actually like being able to load things on my phone. Because mine is still technically a UK phone number, it doesn't work as well as like an American one would. But it just kind of depends what you've got access to. Maybe ask your phone provider if what their like travel options are, if you can pay like a flat fee to use your same number whilst you're away, or if you'd rather just get a new SIM card while you're abroad. They're relatively cheap, and honestly you don't need a lot of data or like calls or text, anything at all really, because you're really not on your phone all that much. And when you do then have your phone and you've got time off, normally you've got no signal because you're in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I would recommend like definitely looking into your SIM card provider that you're with now and maybe seeing if you can just change something, or like I say, just get a SIM card when you're out there. At camp, like we have Wi-Fi, so if I wanted to get up early and call home or like FaceTime, I could just go to the staff room and use the Wi-Fi there, and that was always fine. And like in the bar there's Wi-Fi, like out at Walmart there's Wi-Fi, like out for food there's obviously normally Wi-Fi. So I know people that literally went the entire summer without a SIM card, like Meg and Sally. They didn't ever have a SIM card the entire summer, and then they realised that for like 3 or 4 days they were actually in Chicago on their own, and they just always relied on someone else having data to kind of like book Ubers or use maps or see where they're going, and they were like, we actually have no access to data. So they had to literally just go around using Wi-Fi. Like it is doable, but for travelling especially, like try and make sure you've got a SIM card. A lot of people did just buy a SIM card for their travels, so they didn't buy one for the whole 2 months they were at camp, and then they just purchased one like when they got to New York or whatever city they were in, and then they just used one from there. So that's a good tip actually, maybe think about that. Okay, next I'm going to talk about is medical checks, and by this I mean like going to the doctors and the dentist before going. Or your agency will recommend, I think you actually have to put in the date you last went to the dentist and the doctors on like your agency website. Now your medical check does kind of cover this. The medical check you have to send off to your agency and for your camp, it kind of just, it's just your doctor signing you off to say you are like fit and healthy enough to go and spend a summer working as a camp counsellor. But yeah, make sure you've done that, and try not to leave it too late, because some doctors do charge an absolute fortune for this, and I don't know how they're allowed to do it. I really don't. I've always managed to finesse the system with this. So say my medical form that my agency have sent me, I will pre-fill in every little part of the document that I can fill in myself. So say my age, my height, my weight, different things that I know I can do myself, because normally they charge you based on how much they've got to fill out and how long it would take the doctors. Some they literally just charge a bomb because they think they can and they know that you guys need it. Please do not pay anything over like £50 for a medical check. Like don't do it. Go to somewhere else. Like most people have gone private and got it cheaper than that. I always just booked an appointment for something, and then as I was in my appointment I would just be like, oh, like I've got this, do you mind just filling these bits in? And he just normally do my blood pressure, and I think that was the only thing he really had to do. Maybe a few other bits, but nothing crazy. So I was in and out like with my actual, I think I went for a sore throat or like something, and I literally just took the document with me and I was like, oh, do you mind like filling this in? And yeah, then I think I've only ever paid between like £15 and £20 for mine, and that's always been really handy. Always take a picture beforehand though, because my doctors actually didn't get back to me when like I'd left it to be signed. So I'd taken a picture of it as I was just stood as he'd done it, like, so I'd got it on my phone, and then they just never got back to me. And then when I called, they're like, oh, we don't have a document for you. I was like, well, I've got a picture of it here, and I gave it to the reception desk. So luckily I had that picture, so I actually just uploaded that picture and it was fine. But yeah, make sure, yeah, try and get on top of that and don't leave it really, really late, because it can be stressful when you then literally are like a week going to camp and they try and charge you like 150, 200 pound, which I've heard some people have charged and have paid, which is nuts. So yeah, stay on top of it. Make sure you go now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it can be done within 6 months, I think it is. So go now, get ahead of the game, and make sure it's just sorted for your own peace of mind. Okay, next I'm going to talk about getting paid, and this is the one where it'll be really different camp to camp. Like, I've had people message me saying that their camp's going to pay them like via check or some bits in cash. It's completely dependent on the camp, so this will just kind of be depending on how your camp works. My camp, we actually get given a prepaid debit card. It's a click card, and this is brilliant. Like, we literally get given this, we can go and collect it at the start of the summer or at the end of the summer. We can pick it up whenever, and our salary is just loaded onto that. And we normally get paid in 3 different installments. So we get paid, I think it's 2 weeks after we get there, then maybe at like week number 5, and then again at the end, like week number 8. And what I've always done is just kind of kept my salary on that card and just like not touched it. I always pick it up at on the last day of camp and just have my card, and it's like it's never been used. Like, all my money's on there. Especially that's really good for traveling, because you know then you've got your entire salary to travel with, which is really nice. I think as well because you don't spend a lot at camp at all. Like, I have a lot of people messaging asking how much money they should take, like what I spend, and I've never gone to camp and spent more than a couple £100 like whilst I've actually been at camp, even like including time off though, because like we say got 4 nights off a week, and if I'd go to Walmart, just stock up on some toiletries or essentials, or I'd go out for some food, like go to McDonald's or go out for a few drinks, like you're not spending a lot. Your night off for us is only three hours long, so you don't have all that much time to spend money. And when you're at camp, obviously your accommodation's paid for, your laundry's paid for, your food, everything is covered. And then on days off, like I said, we would stay pretty local, so we'd go and just get some food and some drinks and take it out for the day, and we'd go to like Skinner's, which is this big like area like with a lake, or we'd go to White Lake and we'd rent some boats. Or sometimes I've gone into New York for the day, which even like that might sound like it would be expensive, it really wasn't. Like getting the train in and then just staying in a little motel and then just wandering around, it's not expensive and you don't spend a lot. So it's nice, like I say, to wait and have your salary just to use for your travels, because that's obviously when you guys are going to spend more, like most of your money. But yeah, so this will completely depend. I would suggest reaching out to your camp and asking how you're going to get paid, because some people, they require like your bank account details and you have to give them, and obviously it's quite hard if you're international. So definitely just ask beforehand to try and work out how you can sort that, or if there's anything you need to do on your end before going. But yeah, for me it's really straightforward. We get given this card and we can use it anywhere in the world. It's really, really handy, and you can transfer it. This is what I'm going to talk about. So you can transfer it from your my click card. I can transfer to my Revolut, which was so handy, because I started to panic thinking I've got all this money on my like camp card, I'm not going to spend it anywhere near all of this whilst traveling. I need to get it over to my UK account, or at least into another travel account, because like, I remember my first summer when I got home and I had my click card, it did cost me a lot to withdraw the cash, and so I was like going to a UK bank, withdrawing cash, and then like putting the cash into my UK bank, which was fine, it worked, but it's quite a faff. And I think I was getting charged maybe like $7 to $10 a time, and you can only withdraw I think like $250 at a time. I can't remember exactly how much, but it adds up. So definitely a Revolut is brilliant for that. If you are going to get paid onto like a US kind of debit card, to use that is brilliant to transfer straight over. Like with Revolut, if you guys need, like obviously when the time comes, if you're looking at transferring videos, I can do like a little step-by-step on how to do this, because it was actually so confusing. One of my friends actually just walked me through it, and it's nowhere near as confusing when you know how to do it. So yeah, I can always do like a little tutorial on how to transfer your money over towards the end of the summer, if that helps you guys out. But yeah, I literally, all you would do on Revolut is set up a US account within your like normal UK account, and then you get given like the US details. You know how obviously in the UK we've got an account number and a sort code. The US it's completely different, and your UK account like details won't work. So to go from your click card, you have to put in like US details. So the Revolut gives you these US options, and then it gets put into your Revolut account, which you can then just swap between your US and UK. Like it was really handy, and I don't think you get charged many fees at all. I think I maybe paid a few, like maybe like $10-20 to transfer nearly all of my salary over. So it's definitely worth it. But yeah, it all also depends on how you're getting paid for the summer. If you're not getting paid that way, that's going to be completely irrelevant. But yeah, maybe ask so you know if you need to do anything beforehand. Okay, next I'm going to talk about is ensuring all your documents are uploaded to camp's websites and like your agency website. So if you go onto your like agency portal or your camp portal that you'll have had created when you got offered your job, there'll be like documents that are required by you, so say your medical check or kind of just like your camp contract. Like there'll be different things you'll have to upload before going out to America. So just log on, make sure you've done all of those. Most of them your agency will have advised you to do anyway, and you'll just naturally have done. But yeah, definitely check, just because you don't want to get there and they're like, oh well, where's this document, or why hasn't this been uploaded? So just make sure you're on the safe side and log on to all your agencies and stuff and just make sure all the documents are there where they need to be. Okay, and then last thing I want to talk about is booking flights. And now this doesn't really, it kind of goes away from like the admin side, but I was like, you know what, I want to talk about booking flights because it gets me so excited knowing that everyone's like starting to book flights or has booked flights or is just going for their visa. And a lot of people have been asking me like, where's good to book flights? The thing is, like, not all agencies will sort your flights. The reason why there are some agencies that work out you earning a lot more than others is because you do this on your own. So Camp America, for example, you won't earn as much for your summer, like your salary. I think on their website they state that you'll earn between like $850 to like $1,250, like $1,250. I think that's like the bracket, and that's because they do a lot of the work for you. Like you can opt for a flight package and that's covered, so that's included. So obviously you've got to take that into account. But say like an agency that I'm with, for example, so Bunac, you can earn up to $2,000. I think $2,000 actually is the minimum you can earn. Like you earn more than that, and you then have to sort your own flight. So it's whether you want to take that into account. Obviously, whether you want to like book flights yourself or whether you want an agency to do it, it completely depends that way. But I literally have never found a problem like booking flights at all. Obviously, if you haven't booked flights a lot, it would obviously be a little bit intimidating. You're like, oh, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, going to the right place, and I do get that. But you can definitely do it very easily on your own. So look on Google Flights or Skyscanner and just literally put in where you're flying from, where you're flying to, and what date you want to travel on, and it will pull through every single airline that is flying on that date to those destinations. And you just pick whichever one works for you and then go through, put your details in and book, and you're done. So yeah, if anyone needs help booking flights or they're not sure where to fly from or things are coming up really expensive, please just drop me a message, because I love finding cheap flights. It's like something I would literally sit in bed and do. Like I would just look at flights for no reason whatsoever. I know full well I'm not going to that country, but it's just fun to look at flights. So yeah, booking flights can seem really stressful, but it's honestly not. You can also ask your agency for advice. So say like Bunac, even though they don't offer a flight package, I can ask for advice on booking flights. You can still do that. They are there to help you. So yeah, that's that. But I'm so excited. All of my flights are booked now for literally everywhere, like to then go, for me going from here to Bali and then going to New York and then going back from New York to home. I'm so excited. Let me know down below if you're all booked up, if you've got flights ready, if you are kind of sorted, what stage you're all at. Because on it, like I said before, it just makes me so excited knowing what stage everyone is at with booking their visas, booking their flights, everything. Because guys, it is currently the 16th of March. That's insane. I've got 2 months left in Sydney. Wow. And then literally a month from then I'll be at camp. Like 3 months today I'll have been at camp for a week. Oh my god, I actually can't believe it. I actually can't. But yeah, I'm going to round this video off here. I hope it's been helpful and, like I say, giving you an idea on some of the admin bits that you might not realise you should probably do before going to camp. Now, not all of these are necessary. Like I say, you can make do without a travel bank account. Like I wouldn't recommend it because it can be hard, but you can make do. You can make do without a SIM card. Like there are things that you don't have to do that I've mentioned in this video, but have a little listen, see, like I say, take it with a pinch of salt. If there's things you want to be doing and you've heard me talk about it, you're like, oh well, that sounds like a really good idea, make sure you've done it and just make sure you're ahead of the game. Because what you don't want is like the few weeks before camp to just be filled with stress and panic because you're like, oh well, I haven't got a bank card, I haven't done a SIM card, I haven't done this, and it can be really stressful. It's a time you want to just be enjoying, like being with your family and friends before you go in, making sure you've got everything packed. If you want to like do any last minute shopping, you want to be enjoying those last few weeks. So like I say, have a little look now, try and sort things out, see if you can get that rolling. But yeah, get excited guys, summer's nearly here. I can't believe it, I honestly can't. But yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.